everybody, Bucket List Living. Welcome to Wednesday and welcome to one of my favorite topics and of course my favorite way of living. So we did a poll last week about the topic of this week's talk. You all chose Bucket List Living. Super happy you did, and I'm super happy that you are excited to learn about how you can live in this incredible way of expression, which is pretty awesome. Very quickly before I carry on and say hello. Check. I don't know why, but my comments are defaulted to off. So yeah, cool. We're back on. Okay, so welcome everyone to the third week of birthday month fun. I have some gifts to give to everybody today. During the course of the live, I will let you know how that's going to look. My dog is about to start barking. Let's not do that so early in the live. Right, so let's get straight into it. How's it, Stella? Hello, welcome. Okay, guys, so I don't know whether I can let go of the collar. You know what? He's coming up. Dizzy, you're about to be famous, my love, because I can feel the bark coming. There's the Diesel. Diesel's going to sit here with him for a little bit so he doesn't bark. Hey, baby. Right, guys, bucket list living. What is bucket list living? So it is choosing. It is choosing to live with everything that you have. It is choosing to live your life as an adventure. All right. It is choosing to balance all that heartache and stress that we are inundated with, and beyond that, that like hamster wheel, never-ending cycle, just like every day on repeat, right? No, we want to balance that with adventure and with joy. And ostensibly for me, it is kind of choosing to live who you truly are, because over time, with all that stress and the worry and the responsibilities that we become buried under, we lose sight of the joy that is available to us. Okay. And I know a lot of people think, you know, that ability to go after your bucket list, to live your whole life as one big, amazing bucket list is kind of available only to other people, but it's not. It's available to all of us, but it is up to you to make that happen. So I'm quickly going to open the poll. I would love to know during the course of today, why is it not working now? Oh no, I deleted it. Shit. Okay, scrap the poll. I deleted the wrong one. But in the comments, I'd like to know what you think your restrictions. I made the grave error of letting go of Diesel. And now he's about to bark. What your restrictions are to going after your bucket list, right? Is it procrastination? Is it fear? Is it resources? Is it you just don't know, you just kind of never have, right? So during the course, give it some thought of today's live. Let me know what you think restricts you. So I'd like to start today's talk off with a story that I heard recently. The universe provides. I actually heard about the story last week. All right, first comment, fear. So as you all know, J.R. Tolkien, he is the author, or was the author of Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure you guys all know who that is. So his two great-grandchildren, right, two brothers, Royd and Mike. Mike was unfortunately diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he passed away at 39 years old. Okay. His brother that was left behind, Royd, was not very adventurous, and obviously they were very close. Now, Mike, because it was a terminal illness, he had time to prepare. And what he did, which was so amazing, is he prepared 50 challenges for his brother that he was going to complete after his death. And literally at the funeral of his death, Royd was handed an envelope, and in that was the first challenge, right, that he was given, that he was going to go and do. Now, this motivation to do something he never would ordinarily have done, obviously was derived from that grief and from that loss, and from honoring his brother's wishes, okay? And what sparked off this journey was just an incredible story. And in the link, I'm going to share a couple of article links that you can go and read more fully about what Roy did and the 50 challenges that Mike set out for him, right? And I'm also going to share some pictures. They're super awesome. But some of the stuff he did, he was challenged to do was to, you know, go skiing in nothing but a leopard thong, to bungee jump, wearing nothing but a tutu, you know, these really cool, fun, adventurous things that, again, I need to highlight, he wouldn't have done if there wasn't that motivation. And this is what happens in our life, is that all of our dreams, our fantasies, our desires, our yearnings, all of it gets kind of like put in this little box far away from us, right? Hey, Truman, welcome. For another day, right? When, and there's always that when excuse that we use for ourselves. You know, when I have time, when I have more money, when I'm less stressed, then I'll be able to do the things that bring me joy, which of course is the antithesis to bucket list living. And that is what we're going to change today. And it takes effort, and it takes commitment, and it takes inspiration, which we're going to chat about just now. So I wanted to share with you guys my bucket list, the things I've done and the things I would still like to do. And please, as I'm chatting, please share yours as well. So similar to Royd Tolkien, my real bucket list, and throughout my life, I've really tried to stretch myself and to do, I like the uncomfortable. I'm just weird like that. I like to move into the discomfort. So my whole life, I've really tried to seek things out like that. And I'm quite physically brave. So that doesn't really stop me. But what really kicked off my real bucket list was very similar to Royd, and it was the death of a very close friend that I went through. And he passed away by suicide, and I found his body. So horrible experience, and one of the few experiences in my life that I have to say came close to destroying me. It was incredibly tough. And in that extreme grief and trauma that I was experiencing, I just became smaller and smaller and more lost. And although you guys may not have experienced the exact same thing, I know within your life you have experienced that, those moments where you are just so overwhelmed and you are so deflated and defeated and at a loss for the meaning of life, the meaning of you, like the purpose of life. You know, we all have those really dark nights of the soul. So it was a Saturday night and I was watching TV, super exciting, my social life. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I watched the documentary on Everest, which, you know, is just about everyone dying really, but for some reason it really inspired me. And I'd always wanted to climb Kilimanjaro. And that night, it was like 10 o'clock Saturday night, I was like, fuck this, I am not going to waste my years away, waste me. I'm not going to waste me away anymore. And I knew, just like Royd, I knew I needed something to pull me out of this like grief and out of this really, really dark space, right? And that evening I quickly Googled, I found a company and I texted the person and I was like, I'm coming to climb Kilimanjaro. I had no idea how, when, what, but I took that step and I did it. And I did it alone. I arrived by myself and I climbed the mountain, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And what that did was it opened up a doorway to this whole new world that I had been yearning for and fantasizing about and thinking about for so long, but it was always, you know what I'm talking about, it's always like there. But then I bridged that gap. I bridged that gap between desire and experience. And in that process, wow, the last 10 years of my life have been incredible. So I wanted to share what I've done. Well, obviously, I wrote 2 books. Those not too exciting, but it is a bucket list item. So I have continued to climb big mountains around the world. I have rock climbed around the country. I wanted to do a multi-pitch. That really means that you just have to keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. I've done tons of those. I've scuba dived, I've parachuted, learned to ride motorbikes, horses, I've snowboarded, I've bungee jumped. I'm putting San Pedro on my bucket list because it was something I really wanted to experience and I did it. So the important thing that I want to share with you all today is that, yes, the experiences of doing our bucket list items are like amazing. Okay, they are. But what it is you have to do in order to complete your bucket list item, who it is you have to become in order to get there, right? That's where the magic is. Because those experiences build up your creativity, your tenacity, your ability to take, your willingness to take risks, all right? And all of these skills that you build within yourself become a toolkit, a really, really strong toolkit that you can then use in the rest of your life. You can use it within your business, within your personal goals, etc. Rock on, yeah, baby. So what stops us? What is the fear? And I know we've already had a comment, fear is one of the things that stop us. The thing is, with any goal, now a bucket list item is something that is, for me, and please, I'd like to hear if you disagree with me, it is a reflection of truth. It is a reflection of who you really are. And often I think where that disconnect comes in is that it is so vastly different to the reality that you are currently living, all right? Let's say, and I'm actually going to use an example here from one of my viewers because I know you so well. Let's say that your reality is you work in finance, okay? And finance is a pretty dry, you know, it's not that much adventure and excitement in finance, right? Unless you're structuring a big deal, whatever the case is. But that's the reality you're living in. You're living in it because that's your vocation, that's your work, and you are providing for your family, etc., etc. And so the hamster wheel turns. But within you is this yearning for something so different. And these two realities don't marry each other, right? And that is where we misunderstand our choices of what we can do. Because very often we put ourselves in an either-or situation. Either I have to be responsible, I have to follow this path, I have to keep going, or I lose all of that and I follow my true yearning, my true self, right? And that is not the case. We can have both, but both require equal effort. And when we can equally feed the different aspects of ourselves and the different experiences that we allow ourselves to have, and this is this feeling that there's been, I was just reflecting on myself, that I also wanted to share with you guys. Like, what is the purpose of life? And I know it's a massively big question. And I know within my own life, that answer has changed so many times. And obviously since the dawn of time, man has been trying to answer this question. What is the purpose of life? And I would say simply put, and it might be like a really easy out, but here's my answer. The purpose of life is what you make it and what you allow yourself to be, because we have all these fucking restrictions that we put on ourselves, right? Do you allow yourself to have joy? Can the purpose of your life be joy? Can it not be as simple as that? And when did we agree? When, at what point in your life did you agree to suffer? Always. And we do suffer and we're never going to get away from it. But if we don't bring in that balance, if we don't allow our true hearts, our true minds, our true desires, we don't allow some form of outlet, some form of platform, or in other words, our bucket list. If we don't allow that in, then what is the purpose of it? Like, what are we waiting for? Are we waiting for retirement? Are we waiting for, there is no waiting. There is only now. The other disconnect that I'd like to address is sometimes our bucket lists are really big and we make them insurmountable. We make them unachievable. And of course, humans being humans, that procrastination, that fear, those excuses come in, and all they do is they delay. I want to write down something quickly because I want to come back to this. In fact, I'm just going to talk about it right now because I really don't trust my bloody foggy brain to come back to it. So you all know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? If you're unfamiliar with it, very quickly, you know, we've got right at the base, we've got survival, food, procreation, and so it goes up. What is your personal, unique hierarchy of needs within your own life? Where have you placed your value and your importance? Because very often, and I see it time and time again, when it comes to doing things just for ourselves, right, with no need, right? So we can justify needs very easily. It's like, well, I have to take time off to go take my child to the doctor or to go shopping, or it's a justifiable need, right? But when we discuss needs that have no purpose other than joy, or because I just want to, right? Somehow we have cottoned onto the idea that that's not allowed, and they go absolutely last on our list. And first we address all our responsibilities, and then, so that list goes down. And if there's any time or resources or energy left, right at the end, we may consider doing something just for ourselves, purely for the sake of enjoyment. And as you all know, when we put our own personal needs for no gain other than just enjoyment, very often we never get there, right? It's so last on the list that we don't actually reach it. So coming back to how have you valued your own life? And that's something to really think about, because time is ticking, and I don't want to be the bearer of doom here. And I'm feeling it myself, like I get into this panic that my life is not long enough. And I've been like, every day I say to myself, I'm living to 150. Hopefully that will work, because there's so much I want to do, and there's so much I want to experience. And I talk about this, there's a general theme in every single one of my lives. It's like, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is giving you the life that you want, which can either be sad or liberating. It's liberating because you don't have to wait if you choose to go after it. Okay. So cycle back to bucket list living. Sometimes that desire of yours, that want of yours is big, right? And you think, well, I don't have the money for it. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the skills for it. Okay, that's all right. Perhaps that's really realistic. Perhaps it is going to take you a year or 2 years to get to that point. But what can you do now? Because when I was saying the experience of achieving your bucket list is so amazing, but I'm telling you now, it's those little steps of who you become and how you grow and what you open yourself up to in order to get there. That is the magic of life. That is the magic of experiencing yourself. So you can take those little steps, because the thing is, when you take one step, the next doorway is available, and then you take the next step. And so these doorways in front of you, these opportunities of choices that you can make in the future, opportunities, experiences, and who it is you're going to become, you can't even imagine until you get there. Okay. And I actually wanted to bring this up. I wrote this down. Let me just quickly come back to it, right? Yeah. Takeaways for today. Takeaways for creating your bucket list. Because if there's anything that I want you guys to resolve within yourself today, it is a commitment that today you are going to write your bucket list down and start with defining what is the yearning. Is the yearning adventure? Is it freedom? Is it knowledge? Is it creativity? All right, what is that yearning for? All right, mine's super easy to describe. Mine's just adventure. And from that, like, I yearn to be, all right, coming back. So I was talking about those two realities that are always in conflict with each other, right? There's your day job, and then there's this part inside, this part of you inside. Now, for me, they are like chalk and cheese. And growing up, I used to really, really battle with kind of fluctuating between the two. And just as I suggested, that they're both equally important, and it doesn't have to be an either or, right? I finally got to that understanding in that place of being. And I honor all aspects of myself. There is a part of me that is massively professional and responsible and gets a lot of enjoyment from admin, right? From just normal Western style living. There is another part of me that absolutely abhors society, rules, regulations, whatever the case is. So I know me, and I know I have got to remove myself from humanity frequently. And I like doing that on mountains, and I like doing that far away from everyone else. Also, I like to challenge myself physically, mentally. And so, climbing mountains is my drag of choice. Shit, man, I just completely lost track of why I was telling you this. Foggy brain, I'm telling you. No, it's gone. Let me talk about something else. I love you guys. You've been so patient with me the last month. It's been a bloody nightmare trying to be normal. Right. So breaking down, I've literally gone so bloody blank. Oh, thank you. You're writing your bucket list. So whoever just thought that, you just sent it to me. Thank you. So today you're going to write down your bucket list item, and you're going to start with what is the yearning. Right. Once you can identify that yearning, ask yourself, and then I know that you guys know your actual bucket list items. Write them down and go, okay, this I could probably do maybe even this weekend. So one of the stories from J.L. Tolkien was he had to go and do stand-up comedy in a comedy show, right? Like open mic night. This poor guy, like he's never done comedy in his life, but he got up there and he did it. Okay, so your bucket list don't have to be this huge, big things that are so out of reach and so unattainable, and ticking off your smaller bucket list items and being creative about how you're going to achieve it, right? How you're going to experience it leads to the bigger ones. Okay. Most important is that as you get into the habit of balancing joy with responsibility, so it becomes easier and easier to do. Okay. So guys, I want to hear from you. Type out your bucket list. Type out your top 3. Put them in the chats. I want to hear what yours are. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share with you what is remaining on my bucket list. Number 1, and this has been on my list for years and years and years and years and years. And actually, yeah, I need to set a date for this. So that is to see the Northern Lights. I'm desperate to go see the Northern Lights. I can't bloody wait. I want to make a first ascent. So that means that I'm the first to climb a route or to climb a mountain. My name will be on it. Super awesome. I want to do a multidiscipline climb in the Alps. So that's trekking with actual ice climbing. Super fun. Ooh, this is a huge one of mine, right? I want a wingsuit dive. I'm sure you've seen the guys in those wingsuits, and they jump out of plane and they fly. The only reason that that's kind of stopped me is because I'm a mom now, and like the survival rate is not very high. But God, I would love to do it. Okay. I want to climb Spitzkoppe in Namibia. I was actually supposed to do that this year, but obviously COVID and all the rest. 3 more books. I have 3 more books to write, possibly more after that. We'll see. Here's one. I want to learn to play Chopin on piano, specifically Prelude number 24. Oh my God, I want to go climb in the Timan Mountains in China. So everyone's obviously seen Avatar. If you haven't, go and watch Avatar for the inspiration that you want. That's where they shot that scene with the floating mountains, right? Oh, I want to go climb there. Now that's going to be a challenge because you need permission from the Chinese government to even, it's a national park, to go in there, and then of course to actually climb there. Now one set of climbers have done it, and I can imagine they were big, known names, and they had to work with the government to get permission, etc. That's okay with me because the process of going through that is a stress relief for me. It gives me a goal. You know what I mean? It just ticks all the boxes. Am I going to achieve that anytime soon? No. Will I achieve it? Yes. And then another thing I'd like to do is I'd like to spend 3 months off the grid traveling, right? Like get an old camper van type vibe and just drive and see whatever happens. Right, let me share. Oh, wow, to host a webinar, do an obstacle course, drive on the highway listening to music. Okay, I'm cycling back to this joy thing. To drive on the highway listening to music. Really? You can do that today. Okay, you can do that today. And this is and I'm not judging you. I just want to highlight the fact of how we restrict ourselves. I'm not allowed to enjoy my life. I'm not allowed to be happy. I have to be responsible. I have to be stressed. Said who? And I really want you guys to go back and just think to yourself, Jesus, how many rules have I? When last did I just experience joy for the sake of joy? When last did I do something for myself just because I wanted to? Today, God, get on that highway, blast the music, open up all 4 windows and do it. All right. Do an obstacle course. You've already booked. I can't wait for you to do it. I'm so proud of you. How awesome is that feeling? Because, all right, that's on your bucket list. I know from 2-3 weeks ago, we mentioned this, which means I know you booked it. It's coming up soon. how good is that feeling? It's like, Jesus, I'm wanting to do something. I was so afraid, but I booked it and I'm about to do it. That is the magic that I'm talking about. That is the magic that is available to all of us in our life, because that feeling of inspiration, of accomplishment, of excitement, those are the ingredients that we need as humans. We need that. So create opportunities for those to come. Host a webinar. I really like this. So when I was talking about breaking down your bucket list items into little steps, with the curiosity of what that door is going to open next for you, right? You can do that. You can think of a topic and get your friends, get your family members. Hell, get 3 people, get 5 people, doesn't matter. But do it. Do it so that that fear is behind you. Do it so that you have begun to cultivate the habit of action, all right? We have to take action in our lives. All right, I love that. You know, I don't know if it's my foggy brain or if I'm so used to talking so much, but the half an hour goes really quickly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, week 3 of Birthday Month specials. If you share in the comments whenever you watch this video, should I extend it to YouTube? I shall extend it to YouTube. Either on Facebook or on YouTube, share with me your top 3 bucket list items. And I will personally get in touch with you with a little gift that is coming to you in week 3 to celebrate my birthday. Oh, so talking about obstacle races. So that was also one of my bucket list items. And I went off to do a warrior race. I did about 5 or 6 of them eventually. And I had to, so I landed up winning 1, but only in my category. So I did the 10 kilometer and I won first female, which I was super happy about. But then I won. Then I won first in my age category. And I was like, that's such a bittersweet thing, because at the time I was 30 to 40. I was like, well, obviously the 20 somethings like decimated me. But anyway, why was I telling you that? Foggy brain, it's gone. Anyway, no, it doesn't matter. So next week we have somebody joining on the live. His name is Dave. He's wonderful. I'm going to introduce him to you next week. And we are going to be talking about being an introvert, because he is like the shining poster child for being an introvert. So if you are feeling that social interactions are intimidating and no one really knows you, and how the hell do you interact with people and build relationships and all that kind of stuff, come and join me and hear from the expert himself. All right, thank you, everybody. Today, you're going to write your bucket list down and you're going to identify that one yearning, right? What is that yearning? And as a second task, action, find out about those rules that you've given to yourself that probably don't exist. And if those rules are, I have to be responsible 99% of the time, choose to change it, because you can. All right. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.